Hey, welcome to an overtime Halloween episode of the Game Dungeon. Now this was originally going to be something leading up to the big event, but we all got tricked this year and we're getting a stand-in instead. You know, the great Groucho Marx grew up poor and told a story before about how his brother Chico was always gambling and pawning off things in the house to get more money. So even though he had a job at a paper factory, he never brought home any money because he was gambling it all away. So one day, his father said he better bring his salary home this week or he was gonna kill him. So when payday rolled around, Chico shows up in apprehension, and instead of his salary, shows up with toilet paper, a luxury they had never seen before. They used newspapers. So what I'm trying to say here is this episode is toilet paper. The show got TP'd for Halloween. This was originally gonna be part of the sampler pack, but it just sort of grew into its own episode. And if this isn't the perfect title for this situation, Death's Hangover. So with that, welcome to the Halloween Hangover episode. Death has a hangover. A really bad one. Bastard Dracula has stolen souls. Only 2 dead morons can bring them back. If they fail, Death will kill them again as they enter Bastard Dracula's castle. I'm not sure our intro really explained what's happening, but it tried. Alright, new game, let's go. This is a breakout game, but we have a plot and story progression and a Castlevania theme going on here. Works for me. I also want to mention I got this on sale for 50 cents. The market has to be bloodthirsty for that kind of price. Okay, let's begin. I'm alive again. Time to fight evil. I wonder why Death chose these bodies though. Yeah, so our protagonists are resurrected as women. This is kind of weird, but whatever. Our developer obviously has some sort of vision here. Anyway, what I find more interesting is that the ball is the dumb guy rolling around inside a shell. I'm a fan of using your sidekicks as projectiles.
Little wooden boy, you take that one!
Get help! Please! My brother's dying! Get help! Help him!
Yeah, that doesn't get old with me. So we're off to a good start. The first few levels are essentially tutorials. Bash blocks, bash enemies, get power-ups. It's your standard breakout or Arkanoid gameplay. Before the boss though, we get cutscenes. Look Andy, I'm Batgirl. Bats are stupid. Yeah, bash stupid. And here's the boss. It's a bat. And I was forgetting to use my power-up, so I did this the hard way. Die, bat. Yes, this game understands how to end the boss fight. And this level fanfare music at the end sounds really familiar to me. I'm thinking it's really similar to either a Super Nintendo or an arcade game, but I can't place it. And on we go, now to the sewers. Okay, I think what happened here is the developer was worried that making this a breakout game and gender swapping the heroes wasn't enough to distinguish it from Castlevania. So there was a brainstorming session. What do we have that Castlevania doesn't? I've got it! Barrels and barrels of shit. So I guess this makes the second game on the show to be overflowing with shit. I don't plan for this to be a trend, I promise. It just happens.
I wouldn't want to meet the monster that made those shits.
Yeah, they're bigger than a man by the looks of things. I do like how the flow of sewage changes the trajectory of the ball a little bit. I appreciate details like that. Anyway, we continue onward, and it's really nothing you haven't seen before, just more barrels of shit. That's gotta be a shitty job, packing the shit into the barrels. Actually, why would they even do that? Did you know there's an accessory coming out for VR to simulate smells in games? No thank you.
Oh look, another room of shit. Well, you know what to do.
Death told me there's a shit monster ahead. A shit monster? He must be real shit. I feel like now's a good time to just stop and reflect on your life choices. I don't know, I just suddenly had that feeling. And it's a shit monster! I'd say it's pretty par for the course, all things considered. Okay, time for a power-up. Boom! Yeah, keep out, just in case people decide to wander in here.
You really stank that place up. Good job, boys.
Yeah, hard work is its own reward, huh? Okay, next it's on to the pervert monks. They don't say why they're perverted, but you know, a story doesn't have to answer every question. It's just a bunch of cultists and fireballs. I want to be a pervert monk too! Bob would make a good cult follower. I'd let him join. Anyway, we fight a giant summoned head. It awakens. Damn! And the plot twist is it was really a reptilian thing. Alright, off we go. From here, it's more of the same, with just a different theme for each level. I do like how the crematorium has breaking up piles of bodies to carve a path to the exit. We could use more of this sort of thing. For our boss, we get the world maggot from Guar. Now, I'm okay at breakout games, but I make mistakes. When you run out of lives, you get a chance to spin the wheel and use souls you've collected for a power-up. I feel like I should get more for my souls, but you know, it's a buyer's market. Next, we trudge through a sorceress turning people to stone, and a library infested by spiders. And the game is getting harder, but look at this. These spiders block things off for you. What was I supposed to do here? If I lose the ball, I die. If I go for the ball, I die. I had a close save like this earlier. This is happening more than I'd like. Next up are the castle ramparts, where you could send the ball over the edge. Again, what was I supposed to do here? Oh, come on! See, here's my issue with this game. It's kind of old school in its design. This is an ancient concept of video games, but some power-ups just help you, others completely change the difficulty of the game. So if you're doing well, you can get upgrades that make the game way easier. But if you die and lose them, not only are you back to square one, but it's even worse, because you were used to having the power-up advantage, and your brain hasn't adjusted to having nothing again. So the better you're doing, the easier it gets, but if you make a mistake, then the game kicks you while you're down. So it's kind of like real life. But you have a system like that combined with crap like this where there's no way to avoid what's coming, unless you're a trajectory god where you knew everything that was going to happen back here. If you're like that, you shouldn't be playing Death's Hangover. You should be winning pool tournaments instead. This damn walkway is unstable as you, Bob. You're hurting my feminine feelings. We're not women, you idiot. You're so mean, Andy. See, look, now I can catch the ball and these ramparts are nothing. Nothing at all. The exact same area that burned through my lives couldn't be easier. And we make it to the top, to Dracula's chamber. Ooh. Oh, I need souls to open the door? So I'm down 2 souls, exactly what I spent re-rolling to get back in the game? Oh, that's cute. Damned if you do, damned if you don't. Well, we get to keep playing. Death's pissed about this too, and now he's taking it out on us. Oh, that's great. Avoid! Avoid! How am I supposed to avoid this? Ah! No, come on, come on! Oh, I have unlimited continues. I never should have spent the souls in the first place. Well, back to the grind, and on to Death himself. I was a little slow to figure this out, but you have to go for his hands first. Otherwise, he uses that hourglass to heal himself, and you'll be here forever. He's not too bad, but whoa, what killed me? Okay, let's rewind. What does the slow motion say? I don't know. I guess that hitbox isn't playing around. Shit. Well, let's skip ahead a bit. Boom! Smash your hourglass. That looks pretty cool. All right, I'm coming for you, Death. Yeah! Uh-oh. Into the time vortex we go.
You idiots! You broke my hourglass!
Whee! You're just upset we beat you, Death.
You two morons! You have no idea! We'll be stuck in this time loop forever! Shit!
And he is not kidding. Here we are, back at the intro. We're trapped in this game forever. Ah! See, Castlevania would have you believe beating Death is no big thing. But you do that, you're taking reality into your own slippery hands. So we have to beat Dracula. That's the only way out of this. The moral of this story is you have to kill vampires. That's just all there is to it. So we'll start a new game and climb the castle again. This time there was a side route that involved the tentacle monster in the aqueducts. Not anymore. And here we are with the souls opening the chamber. Inside is a sterile blueprint looking room. It continues on and eventually we find dead clones of ourselves. Oh, that's a good sign. And it's another endless loop. It goes on forever. Damn it, death. Okay, after a small existential crisis, I figured out the trick. You have to get this center box here to drop the key. See, I missed it the first time. Then you go through the loop again. Then you get to kill the witch. Again? Seriously, I killed her back here. Freaking witches. But we get her. Andy, I don't feel so good. And I'm down to Dracula with no lives. Will I make it? Nope. Okay, more endless looping fun. Alright, down to Dracula with 3 lives. Oh god, he's messing me up. No lives, again. Ah! Alright, I think I figured out his pattern. I just have to... Boom! Yes, perfect. That's exactly what should happen. Great, we're back here again. Where's death? Bastard Dracula is defeated. I'm free. The prophecy was he would be killed by 2 girls. So that's why you chose these bodies. When do we get our real bodies back? I'm going home to my family now, boys. Take care, it was a blast. And that's it, we're death now, except not really. Alright, so, oh, an extra ending. It doesn't really say anything, just Andy realizing clones of himself isn't a good sign. I figured out what they're doing here. See, look, they want me to unlock the full super secret ending. They want me to play this at least 8 more times, probably in a special way for each. No, that's not happening. They do have an adventure mode now, which is the same as the regular one, but with a side-scroller portion that was even worse with the cheap deaths. Now, for any obsessive-compulsive types, best I can tell, nobody's revealed these endings online. So you have your work cut out for you if you have to know what really happened here. I blew up the castle. I'm good. I've had someone with OCD before call me a bad influence. They're probably right. Well, this was definitely worth my 50 cents. Normally the game's $5. You can't always grab these predatory sales like I do. Oh, and I almost forgot. Let's back up. The prophecy was Dracula will be killed by 2 girls. I haven't heard that one before. I thought it was a stake through the heart. You know, cut off the head. But that's the explanation for the gender swap? I see what they're trying to do here. They're trying to be like the witches in Macbeth with a twist on the prophecy, saying he can't be killed by a man born of a woman. Except there's no twist here. We never had this reference to start with. There was no clever reason they had to be women. They're just dumping a prophecy in our lap in the end credits. This game thinks it's Macbeth. It's not Macbeth. Yeah, there we go. Alright, that's about all I have to say. Have a happy Halloween recovery, and watch out for endless loops. 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 Hey, welcome to an overtime Halloween episode of the Game Dungeon. Now this was originally going to be something leading up to the big event, but we all got tricked this year and we're getting a stand-in instead. You know, the great Groucho Marx grew up poor and told a